To all those people watching, I would like to remind everyone that this video is not made strictly for kids. It is for older fans and adults too. Enjoy the fucking video! This video is brought to you by my loyal patrons. Register now at any tier to watch new videos 1 month in advance before they're made public. Link is in the description. It was the start of another year, and everyone was back to work after enjoying Christmas and New Year. Toby was busy at the quarry as they were preparing a large order for a customer, and he wouldn't have time to put his passenger train for the day. The fat controller had arranged for Stanley to take it for him. He pulled into Maithwaite station. Then after his passengers were on board, he was about to puff away when a car strode towards the closed crossing gates. "Look out!" Stanley cried. Luckily the car stopped, but its driver looked fed up. She then got her phone out and started ranting. Stanley had no idea why she was doing that, but he couldn't focus on it now and puffed away to the next station. Later that day, Stanley was in the shed resting before his next train. His driver was looking through his phone when he spotted something that looked familiar to him. "Hey up, Stanley, you're on here!" And his driver showed him the phone. Stanley later realized that the video he was watching was posted by the woman who had seen earlier at Maithwaite, and by the sound of it, her words didn't flatter Stanley. "Why is she complaining about me? I was there first," he huffed. "Don't know," replied Stanley's driver. "If she's late, then the fault is on her." The woman was named Ashley Ivor. She delivered food to people around Tomas's branch line from a delivery company called So Door to Door. Ashley doesn't mind the railway and often uses it whenever she's not on duty, but when it comes to her deliveries, she would get annoyed with the engines being in her way. She was at it again with Stanley, and the silver tank engine had had enough. "Trains must get through, Mom. We are just as important as whatever you're doing," he said. "I have deliveries to make, mate," she shouted. "I'm not going to be lectured by some steam train." "This railway line was here first, Mom. And as I said earlier, we engines must get through too. If you want to get where you want faster, may I suggest hopping on board behind me, which is my train?" "Don't get smart with me," replied Ashley crossly. And after Stanley puffed out of the station, Ashley veered away in her car. "What a silly passenger," sighed Stanley. The next day, work continued as normal for Ashley as she came to a restaurant to pick up an order for her customer. After she had picked it up, she went back to her car and drove away to the customer, who was at Elsbridge. As she drove down the country lane, there was a puddle covering a hole in the road. Suddenly there was a loud bang! "Great heavens!" she cried. "What the heck was that?" She got out of her car and saw that it was a damaged tyre. "What was in the blooming puddle?" she said to herself crossly. She then found a sharp rock underneath the cold water. "Great! Now I've got a puncture, and I need to deliver this food right away and deal with other customers as well," she groaned. She then called up for Butch to take her car to the workshop to have it fixed. After that, she called the company about her car, and they told her that they would see what they could do to solve her problem. "What can I do?" she said to herself. "I could take you," replied Butch, "but I'm needed to help others in the snow. Perhaps Bertie might take you?" Then Ashley had an idea. Stanley pulled in after pushing some snow out of the way after it blocked the path on the line. He was surprised to see Ashley on the platform holding the bag of food. "What are you doing here?" he asked. "Berated the railway, I presume? Look, I know you're not happy with me saying that stuff, but I can't deal with that right now. I'm in need of delivering this food to a customer at Elsbridge and my car has broken down, so I need you to take me there before it gets cold. She's not far from the station." Stanley could see that Ashley was serious, and so he agreed. He offered the idea to let her ride in his cab so the food could keep warm for the customer. "All right, but try not to let it burn," she said. So Stanley puffed away, and while his crew were busy, Ashley, however, was grateful to keep warm away from the cold snow. They soon came to Elsbridge, and Ashley raced away with the warmed-up food. "Here you are, Mom," she said. "Sorry for the wait." "That's all right. It feels lovely. Just the stuff you need to keep warm in this weather. Thank you." She came back to the station and strode up to Stanley. "I guess I should owe you an apology," she said. "The railway is not useless. Thank you for letting me on board. I could use you today, but some places are maybe away from the railway line, and I don't know how long the buses will take." Then Ashley's phone rang, and on the other end she was told by so door to door that the company would give her a replacement car until her one was repaired. "Thank you very much," she said happily, and hung up. Stanley was happy. "If I'm in an emergency, I'm sure to ride with you to deliver the food on time." That is if the customers are nearby. Stanley just smiled.